Excuse me, Rue.
Mornings are a busy time for Tague and Lisa Harding of Lakeville, Minnesota. They've had a lot of experience over the years getting 5 kids ready for school. With their youngest being 10, they were looking ahead to an empty nest in a few years, but things didn't turn out that way. It all started with a missions trip to Africa.
We thought we might work with digging wells in Africa because we knew some friends that had done that, and so we thought, well, maybe we could get on board with that.
It turned out they were needed for another project.
And it hadn't occurred to us that God might want us to parent African children.
Now, what are you going to do when, with James 1:27? What are you going to do about visiting widows and orphans in their distress? And that's a question of obedience. And for us, it meant adopting. You have a good night's sleep.
So, a year and a half ago, the Hardings adopted little Philip and Zachary from Uganda.
I think that's really cool. That little family in Minnesota and 2 little boys not even born yet when God started digging on my heart in regards to Africa. And, you know, across continents and across time zones and all of that, he put a family together.
They're convinced this is only the beginning.
I'm excited about refueling what's already a passion in us, because this is not a period at the end of the sentence now that Philip and Zach are in our house. So now it's what next?
CBN News met with the Hardings in Minneapolis at the Christian Alliance for Orphans Summit. Hundreds have come from all around the country to this year's Adoption Summit, and they are motivated about fulfilling what they say is a biblical mandate to care for orphans.
The growth has just been thrilling. You know, the first summit 6 years ago, there was about 35 people, and each year it's just grown, significantly. Last year there was a little more than 700 in Texas. This year there's more than 1,200 here in Minneapolis.
It's how does God want to use us, and that's the spirit that you see here at the Orphan Summit.
This couple adopted 3 sets of triplets from Russia, something their biological son is thankful for.
I'm just so amazed at what God has done through the adoptions in our family. It just changed us so much, because the 3 oldest in our family have talked about if we had never had our younger siblings, we'd probably be a lot more self-focused and just have to share and have all the, leading your younger siblings, and also just to have a lot of fun as a big family, people counting us, and just drive a massive van. It's just a lot of fun. So we're so blessed by God, and just give thanks to Him for that.
Some, like Kyle and Carolyn Tweetmeyer, also take in children considered unadoptable.
These children are HIV positive, and we have a child that was in stage 4 AIDS as well.
CBN's Orphans Promise supports orphanages in Haiti and has built a training facility in Armenia.
It's really exciting to see just the networking and to see how Orphans Promise fits into this whole picture of serving orphans around the world.
A difference is also being seen here in the U.S. Sharon Ford oversees adoption and foster care programs in Colorado. She says thanks to God and faith partners in her state, the number of children waiting to be adopted has dropped by more than half over the past 5 years.
The ultimate goal is 0. I realize that kids are always coming in the door, but wouldn't it be phenomenal to have no waiting kids? None. And that we would only have waiting families.
Award-winning music artist Stephen Curtis Chapman and his wife Mary Beth have been champions of this cause for nearly a decade. The couple adopted 3 daughters from China. 2 years ago, their youngest daughter Maria died in a tragic accident.
This little girl, that God brought her into our family, and for her 5 years on this earth, we thought it was going to be 95, and still we'll wrestle until we see her again and see God with, why wasn't it? That's what we thought was the plan, God. And now this whole new dimension of grieving, and even as we grieve through that process, saying, and this once again brings us back to God's heart for orphans.
And as the Hardings have learned, God's heart for their adopted children has reached deep into their own lives as well.
This story is not about me. I've been asked to join a bigger story, God's story, as it relates to Philip and Zachary.
People have said, oh, aren't they lucky? You rescued them from, whatever. And I think, are you kidding? I'm the lucky one. I get to be their mom, and I get to be daily rescued from my selfishness and my impatience and things that are just as disease-ridden in my soul. So, yeah, I guess I'm the lucky one.
Charlene Israel, CBN News.